Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. The topic for this evening is about calculating the depth of the carbon footprint. Much has been said about the tourism industry going carbon neutral. We have been seeing more and more discourse, debate, conversations, talking about how the tourism industry should and can go about being carbon neutral. But I want to talk about 2 points which I think seems to be quite missing in all these discussions and discourses. When we talk about the tourism industry going carbon neutral, I think we have to consider, will it be a benefit or a loss or a disadvantage? Would it be a positive thing or could it be a disadvantage for the informal sector, who still plays a fairly important role in some places? When the tourism industry is going through carbon neutral or trying to be carbon neutral, the journey of being carbon neutral might actually possess or create hurdles and obstacles for the informal sector. Carbon neutrality involves calculating carbon footprint, which is already quite complicated. And if you look at what internationally institutions, companies and organizations are doing, some of which come with their own ways of calculation, the methods and the frameworks might not always be the same. So you end up with different calculations for carbon footprint. And in time, we will have regulations, we will have auditing, we will have frameworks being drawn up. And I really am not quite sure if this will present or create obstacles and challenges for the informal sector. The second and last point in this very short podcast I want to talk about relating to carbon neutrality in the tourism industry is about calculating the depth of the footprint. How much effects or impacts can a 12-ton carbon emission do to people in an area where poverty is rampant? So that seems to be something missing in the conversation. That seems to be something we should be talking about. We measure the size of the footprint, but I think the depth or the degree to which this footprint causes inconvenience and how it impacts upon people, the ecosystem and the environment should be something that we should not ignore. So not just the size of the footprint, but we should also talk about the depth. A 12-ton carbon emission might have not so large, not so heavy or not so deep an impact in a certain area, but it would definitely create more inconveniences. It will definitely create more harm, more destruction to an area that is experiencing fragility in the ecosystem, for example. So going forward, I think the discourse on carbon neutrality in the tourism industry should take note of these 2 points. And in my opinion, particularly the second point. And I thank you for tuning in. This is a very short podcast. And most of my podcasts are done quite impromptu. with very little or no typing of notes in front of me, and I hope that this little sharing today gives you something to ponder about. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next podcast.